We're coming to you live from the broadcasting house in the middle of Kenya's capital, Nairobi. My name is Giverson, Maina, and our sign language interpreter is Byron Abuli. Now join us for the next hour for news within and of course across the country, including sports. Now let's go straight to news. Gender Cabinet Secretary Hannah Cheptumo has called for a united national effort to ensure all learners remain in school as the government responds to food insecurity affecting education outcomes in flood and drought-prone areas. The CS spoke at Lela Secondary School in Nyando, Kisumu County during the launch of a pilot feeding and mentorship program. Now, she said the intervention seeks to address the immediate challenges preventing children from attending class. The initiative is set to benefit 11,000 students in 39 public schools.
We have a core mandate, which is to care, protect, welfare, and control children. We cater for children and young persons, vulnerable young persons. Those are the children we cater for, children and vulnerable young persons.
Beginning last year, August, we have been receiving enough food supplies and food ratios that go to our schools. And in retrospect, therefore, we only charge 1,000 shillings per child in day schools per term.
We have come here to bring food, to bring dignity kits for the boys and girls. We've come here to bring sanitary pads, to bring exercise books, to ensure that no child is at home.
Away from that, the needy students have been admitted to Mary Leakey Girls High School under the efforts to enforce government's directive on 100% transition. Now, Lower Kabete Assistant Chief Grace Njonjo said local administrators are sensitizing parents and students to join nearby day schools to ensure no learner is left behind. The students Aurelia Imenza and Jane Wanjiko, who had delayed joining due to financial constraints, expressed gratitude and pledge to perform well. Parents cited economic hardship for the delay, while school officials said more needy students have been admitted through teacher support, with the school targeting 600 learners.
Most of them are unable to join the schools that have been placed, and we're encouraging them to join the schools that are near them, where they can be. They'll be able to join the schools and continue with their education.
Alikuwa ameitwa Kagaru Girls. Nikaona sina uwezo wa kumpeleka huko, nikampeleka day school. Sasa well-wishers wakaona, wakaona huyu mtoto anastahili kuangaliliwa shule ya kulingana na pointi zake.
I will take you to Laikipia County, where hundreds of learners in Laikipia North are out of school following a wave of cattle raids that have forced families to flee their homes. Four schools, Soit, Ondo, Korum, Saramba and Sik, remain deserted as insecurity continues to grip the region, with more than 1,200 goats and 200 cows stolen in just 1 week. Now, residents allege that the attackers, believed to be from neighboring Isiolo County, are using the dense Mukogodo forest as cover, hiding stolen livestock in the rugged Losos Hills, which remain largely inaccessible to security teams. They say the assailants issue repeated threats after every raid, fueling fear and triggering mass migration. Despite the government gazetting the Mukogodo forest as a disturbed area and setting up 2 GSU camps, insecurity persists, raising concerns over the effectiveness of current security measures.
Nakuja sasa, tunaogopa watoto wengine wamehama, shule zimefungwa, tumebaki tu hivyo. Wenye wamebaki sasa wanahangaika tu hivyo. Wengine wanalala ndani ya malaga, wengine wanalala shuleni. So hatujui tufanye aje. Ile
kitu imefanya shule ifungwe ni masukusuko ya watu kupika wengine na kuchukua mali. Sasa ndio imefanya shule ifungwe kwa sababu watu wameanza kutoroka. Watu wamepika wengine na kuchukua mali mingi sana. Zaidi hata 2,000. Sasa ndio ikafanya wengine sasa wakaanza kutorokesha mali yao na watoto.
Ingekuwa beta watutumanishie serikali wakuja watusaidie mahali tuko hapa chini ya mto kama ya mto kubwa hapa Soitashe. Wakaaji wote wako pale wanasanyika pale na hawana security ya kutosha.
Now from Laikipia, we take you back to Nairobi, where frustration is mounting among parents and grade 10 students in Dandora, Nairobi, after attempts to enroll children in schools under the government's Free Education Directive failed. Now, parents and students gathered at Dandora Community Park today, despite, or rather desperate for guidance on how to access schools as per the presidential directive. Now, many parents say they have tried taking the children to school but were turned away. The students and parents are calling for free and accessible education that ensures 100% transition from primary to secondary school. They say the current barriers, including a denial of admission for lack of uniforms, undermine the government's promise and leave children unable to continue their education.
Kuna wanafunzi wengi sana hawajaenda shule bado, and sisi kama wazazi we are left wondering what next for our kids. Tunafaa kufanya nini sasa, because hii fee vile iko, it is very expensive.
So ours is just a call and the essence in terms of some of these demands and understanding the underlying challenges beyond the aspect of school fees. Kuna issues the uniform, kuna issues pia the placement of where these kids have been placed, so that we can be able to have those statistics holistically, and it's an approach that we work collectively with the government and grassroots leaders to be able to ensure that this thing is fully implemented and realized.
President alisema watoto wapelekwe shule, nilijipeleka State House Boys. Nikaambiwa mama, umeleta mtoto tukatai, lakini huwezi afford hata uniform, na kwa hiyo barua yake kuna uniform imeandikwa. Sijarudisha hiyo shule juu sina hiyo uwezo. Nimeamua kukaa na mtoto, labda president aongee mara ya pili.
I come from an economically disadvantaged family where both of my parents are casual laborers. Them raising such a huge amount for me to go to school is an issue to them. I am eager to learn, and I call out upon any well-wishers out there to help me and all the others who haven't been able to join school.
Now, Kibwezi West Member of Parliament Mwengi Mutuse has questioned school principals whose institutions continue to post poor results despite receiving full support from the NGCDF. Speaking during a bursary issuance exercise, Mutuse expressed concern that some schools benefiting from government funding, including food supplies, are still registering a mean grade of E, a performance he termed unacceptable.
Afadhali tufunge hiyo shule. Na so hata mkiniambia ati there is a problem with C4 schools. Yes, there is a problem, and the problem is not food. The problem is poor performance. Hakuna mtu analeta mtoto wake akuje kumalizikia shule. Kama shule kila mtoto amepata E, una expect watu wanakuletea watoto wao kuja kufanya hiyo shule. I mean, my principals, you are my good friends. Na mnajua mimi ni marafiki wenu. I will support you. Nitaleta hiyo chakula mnasema. Nitapeana pesa hii, leo ni mnaenda na pesa huko. Tuache kushinda tunapelekana hii kando ati shule C4 hazitakikani, ati wazazi hawaleti shule. It is simply because those schools are not performing.
And now to politics now. Kakamega Governor Fernandez Baraza has lauded the President William Ruto's move to initiate talks with other political parties, including the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, but warned against engaging the opposition, claiming they are only driven by self-preservation, not the national good. The governor claims that while pre-election coalitions are good to fortify President William Ruto's re-election chances, the opposition, he claims, does not have the interest of wananchi at heart and should therefore not be considered for negotiation with the ruling party. Baraza spoke during an inspection of the stalled Tamanoni Bridge in Botsosi East, pledging that works on the project would resume to ensure the bridge is completed.
Watu ambao tumeambia kinara wetu asiongee nao ni wale ambao ni jamaa wa siasa ya ukabila, siasa ya kugawanyisha Wakenya, na sisi hatutaki Mheshimiwa Oburu Oginga aongee na wale jamaa wa shares. Hapa Western Region, mimi najua kwamba tukiungana sisi viongozi wote, tutahakikisha urais imetoka hapa Sugoi na imekuja hapa.
Officials in Vihiga and Embu counties have defended themselves against claims of diverting public money to personal use. Allegations that emerged during the appearance of Governors Wilbur Otichilo and Cecily Mbarire before the Senate Public Accounts Committee. Otichilo has defended himself over 5 million Kenyan shillings expenditure linked to the housewarming of the Speaker's residence, saying the said money was instead advanced to the County Assembly as a loan.
Describing that money that we gave, the 5 million, we gave to the Assembly. They described it as money for operation, and somehow somebody mischievously said, and house warming. But if you check the ledger itself, it's for operation, and he added on house warming. So that's where the problem came.
That the funds in question were lawfully accessed, properly applied, and fully accounted for, and that no public funds were lost, misappropriated, or diverted. The county government's actions were undertaken strictly in adherence with the provisions of PFM 2012, which allow temporary reallocation, internal reallocation of funds, subject to authorization, disbursement, and accountability.
And I want to take you to Taita Taveta County, where Energy and Petroleum Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi is, of course, commissioning the rural projects undertaken by Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation (REREC), and a total of 558 households are set to benefit from that project, or the electrification projects launched today in Taita Taveta. We are now joined by our reporter Ben Chumba. Ben Chumba, if you can hear me.
Laika, County Commissioner, many other leaders, purposefully to address the issue of rural electrification. This county and this sub-county of Taveta, this village of Grogan, have for a long time been in darkness, so to speak. And thanks to His Excellency President Dr. William Ruto, that situation is now changing once and for all. Why do I say so? Why do I say so? In this financial year, rolling from previous financial year, this county has been allocated some good amount of money for purposes of connecting electricity to very many households. To be exact, some 1.3 of Taveta in the last 1 year or so, and that will be able to connect about 15,000 or so households in the final analysis. This constituency alone has got about 500 million shillings, and that will connect about 5,000 or so households. And therefore, we must say that this is a game changer. As a ministry and as a sector, we are very delighted to be able to witness this transformation. As you know, this is a national government program spearheaded by the President himself. As a ministry, our work is to support the President to achieve his vision. First and foremost, of lighting up the countryside. But more importantly, this is part of the journey towards making Kenya first world economy. So we're happy to contribute, to make our small contribution as a ministry in that journey, that very important journey of transforming Kenya into a first world economy. So in that transformation, I'm happy to report that no part of the country will be left behind. And therefore, Taita Taveta County, Taita Taveta constituency, and this Grogan village shall not be left behind. They'll be part and parcel of that transformation. And therefore, we are working very closely with the leadership which is elected. The governor, the member of parliament, of course the women rep. And I must thank the member of parliament for having worked very tirelessly in parliament. First and foremost, alongside his colleagues, to ensure that they allocate enough money for our ministry. But more importantly, also to fight for his constituency to get a proper location that will transform the lives of these people that you see here. So thank you very much.
There are several electrification projects going on across the country. What assurance do you give that these projects will remain on track?
That's our very own Ben Chumba speaking to Energy CSO P&I, who is commissioning various projects, rural electrification project in Taita Taveta County. And away from that, technical training institutions in the country have been urged to be at the forefront in developing technology courses, especially those in the field of AI. This was said during the graduation of 250 students from various colleges in Sugalagala, Pwani and Kabete, who completed a 6-month course on online technology, AI and data management. Stakeholders and education donors who attended the event, including Izaka and Scratch and Script, called on the government to invest more in technical training institutions to allow more students to interact with modern technology.
We are here to celebrate the strength that exists, or the low power that exists when the government, the industry, and international partners comes together to provide or to find solutions for providing employment-oriented skill development.
In the mainstream education program for the universities, the TVETs have been losing out in training in specialized areas like AI, cybersecurity, and data protection. Again, if you look at the programs in terms of technology and digital transformation, they lack that element of making them ready for the market.
We have trained them with the skills we require. We have worked with them to build solutions that are currently being implemented in several institutions, and through that they are able to earn money. We are able to show that this is a real problem that has been addressed, and we are also able, even within our own cells, to be able to use these tools.
The skills which they have acquired will assist them. It is over and above what they usually learn in their institutions. And that's why we hope that this project, and now not being a project, the ministry will pick it up and scale it up in other Tibet institutions.
Now, the government has stepped in to support vulnerable families in Gatundu South in Kiambu County following the failure of short rains that have left households food insecure. This is due to widespread crop failure. Now, while distributing foodstuffs and non-foodstuff items to the affected families, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Correctional Services, Dr. Wairimo Salome, said that the initiative aims to provide immediate support to the families while longer-term solutions being sought.
One of the reasons we decided to come today is Gatundu South to be able to help the vulnerable. And today we had over 1,000, nearly 2,000 widows and widowers and single moms to help them by giving them a bit of food. We gave them rice, we gave them beans, we gave some of them mattresses, we gave some of them blankets. We have also given them dignity packs. And for those who have disability issues, we have also given them wheelchairs. And this is in line with His Excellency's His Excellency the President William Ruto's desire to show care and concern for the most vulnerable in the society.
Now, Shirulu Primary School in Shinyalu, Kakamega County, has received digital learning equipment worth 3.5 million Kenyan shillings to help learners adapt to the competency-based education curriculum. Now, the school is among 66 institutions nationwide and the 5th in Shinyalu constituency to benefit from the donation by the Thika Alumni Trust Fund. Speaking at the handover, the project's national coordinator, Maxwell Kayesi, said priority was given to schools that cannot afford such equipment. He added that the digital machines will provide training in academics, nutrition, reproductive health, and agriculture for both students and the local community. School principal Robert Ivala praised the initiative, saying the equipment will improve the learning environment and prepare students for the digital world.
Zile mitambo tumeacha pale, kuna masomo mengi sana ya kusaidia hii jamii ya hapa Shirulu, kama vile uzazi bora, kama vile lishe bora, kama vile kilimo bora, na pia masomo kuhusu njia ya kukinga zile maradhi za kawaida.
The community is going to benefit, the students are going to benefit, the mean of the school is going also to go high. We are having our first grade 9 this year, and from what I've seen from those tablets, we have already a revision question papers for Kijisea, so that is a plus to my school.
Now, Meru County has launched a 240 million shillings initiative to enhance skills training and early learning. Now, the program targets vocational training centers and early childhood development education. According to Governor Isaac Mutuma, the key focus will be on plumbing, welding, and ICT, among others. He said that ACDE received 54 million Kenyan shillings for school meals, benefiting over 59,000 learners.
Tunashukuru gavana wetu kwa kutupea hizi bidhaa ya kazi, kwa sababu itatusaidia ndio wanafunzi wetu tuweze kuwa na equipment ya kutosha kwa wanafunzi.
Wale ambao wamefanya mitihani ya KCSE na wengine wao hataweza kuingia universities na kuendelea na masomo ya juu, lakini ningewahimiza wajiunge na vyuo vya ufundi.
The world of work is changing rapidly, and success today is defined not only by academic certificates, but by skills, innovation, and productivity. Our young people must be prepared to compete, create jobs, and thrive in a dynamic global economy.
Now, days after residents of Mariakani in Kilifi County staged a protest over their alleged exclusion from a road construction project, the Kenya National Highways Authority has moved to address the concerns by holding a public participation forum aimed at sensitizing the community on the project's implementation. During the meeting, residents underscored the importance of involving the public in development projects from the onset, saying citizens should not be forced to take to the streets to access information, which they noted is a constitutional right. They further called for closer collaboration between Kenha and the Kilifi County government to ensure projects implemented in the area directly benefit the local community. Meanwhile, local leaders have urged residents to closely monitor ongoing projects while steering clear of politics, warning that political interference could derail development efforts.
Husika katika any project anywhere, wasingoje wananchi waandamane ndio watoe design of the project, because mwananchi akona right ya access to information, timely access to information, kabla ya wao kwenda kuanza kuandamana kuleta vurugu.
Leo hii tumeona ya kwamba wakati washikadau wanaamua kufanya vitu vya sawa na kufanya the right thing, and engaging the community through the right process, na engage in a public, the way it says public participation, it's a public thing, waweze engage into that. Tunaona ya kwamba ni kitu ambacho wananchi wanaweza kuappreciate sana.
Tuzidi kuwa macho na kuangazia vitu kama hivi kuweza kufanyika katika njia inayotakikana, lakini pia kuwaomba tusiweke siasa katika miradi ambayo inakuja kwetu ndo tuweze kubenefit.
To matters of Polytechnic elections, Naftali Shege is the elected new student president of Kiambu National Polytechnic after securing 1,144 votes, representing 72.43% of the total votes cast in an election conducted through an electronic voting system. Now, Shege defeated his close rival, Charles Owira, who garnered 411 votes in the highly competitive race. Now, speaking on behalf of Chief Principal Sami Waititu, who was away on official duties, Dr. Gitao praised the adoption of electronic voting, terming it a major step towards innovation, transparency, and peaceful student leadership transition. She urged students to embrace technology-driven platforms to enhance their skills, unlock innovation, and prepare for the evolving digital space. The digital election, now in its third edition, was overseen by the institution's management led by Deputy Principal in charge of administration, Dr. Jane Gitao, alongside Deputy Principal for Academics and Quality Assurance, Isaac Mokaya.
Ever since we started using the electronic voting system, the voters' wall, things have not been the same here at KINAP because disputes have been resolved through the system. The electoral process became very transparent, and you can be able to measure the accountability, and also it is very, very fast.
I want to believe that as you have witnessed, your voice has been heard. And once your voice has been heard, I first want to thank everybody, those who came forward so that they can be able to participate in the elections.
The election has been good, it was fair. People have showed up. The advantage of voting online, it has saved us in time. And you see the studies has been running very well during the day. People have attended their classes, but still they have received that and have that chance to vote. So first of all, it's about time. Another thing is about transparency.
From Kiambu County takes us to a very short commercial break. Don't go too far. There's still so much more coming your way.
Kila Jumamosi saa 1 jioni kuna sauti mbili zinazotawala anga ya habari. Dada wawili pacha, magwiji wa ulingo wa habari.
Karibu sana katika Dira ya Magwiji.
Magwiji kwa upekee wa sauti, mtindo na maarifa.
Katika enzi ya sasa iliyosheheni mabadiliko,
tuko ange kukuletea taarifa, fafanuzi kutoka kila pembe ya dunia.
Jamila na Wanjiru wanakupeleka kwenye safari ya taarifa, uchambuzi na uhodari wa matukio yanayotikisa dunia.
Tunajizatiti kukupa taarifa sahihi na kwa wakati.
Habari kwa jicho la kitaalam.
Tuna hamu na hamamu katika kuuliza maswali stahiki yenye kuwajibisha.
Na sauti ya uhalisia.
Tupe sikio na macho kwa taarifa za kina.
Dira ya Magwiji, pacha wa habari. Kila Jumamosi saa 1 jioni hapa KBC Channel 1.
Na walisema mapenzi ni kama upepo.
Zameni usiuchawi. Ino kazi ni amoni.
Ni kipi kikusikitishacho kipenzi changu kiki?
Akili mnemba ina mchango gani katika jamii?
Hoja yangu ya kwanza ni mabadiliko ya haraka katika teknolojia yanafanya watu kushindwa kuendeleza akili mnemba.
Akili mnemba inaunda fursa mpya za kazi.
Tutajie kisawe cha neno hili.
Gwena.
Uitwa Ngwena. Makofi mpigie. Mama amepona. Kinyume.
Mama ameugua.
Tamthilia ya Bembea ya Maisha ni tamthilia ya tatizo. Eleza.
Inaeleza jinsi Yona na Sara wanapitia tabu na mwisho akafanikiwa.
Kauko na mimi high five. Kauko na mimi high five. Kauko na mimi
How do you heal? How do you move on, whether it's in relationships, whether it's with family, with friends?
So when I hear about healing, one, I believe it's all about clarity and stability when you're making your decisions.
Loving is not a feeling. It is an action. It is to give that love that is required. And so that is why I believe you cannot at all. Where's the pair? You can't keep love that person and you're still healing.
I put my hope in you. For you are the lifter of my head.
Welcome back. You're watching Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. Now it's time for business, time to make sense of the shilling. The Taifa Gas project at the Dongo Kundu Special Economic Zone in Mombasa County is 80% complete and is expected to be operational within the next 2 months. Investments Cabinet Secretary Laikipia says the facility will add 30,000 metric tons of liquefied petroleum gas storage and boost distribution capacity, strengthening Kenya's ability to meet domestic demand and supply in East Africa.
The government has been encouraging a shift from traditional biomass fuels such as charcoal and firewood to cleaner alternatives, including LPG and electricity, to reduce deforestation, indoor air pollution, and carbon emissions. Kenya has increased investments in LPG infrastructure over the past decade as part of its clean energy transition agenda.
Kenya will be able to have an additional 30,000 metric ton capacity here, making it not just distribution for the country, but also for the entire region, including the countries that are around us.
Kinyanjui says the proximity of Dongo Kundu Special Economic Zone to the port of Mombasa makes it attractive to export-oriented investors targeting international markets.
And one of the things that we are keen to ensure is that we increase value addition and manufacturing in Kenya. And this special economic zone, being at the port, is designed to attract investors with an export market in mind.
The Special Economic Zones Authority says its focus has now shifted to fully occupying existing zones across the country, including Dongo Kundu and Naivasha, with more projects expected to be rolled out in phases over the next 5 years.
We are also incentivizing some of the investors to give us infrastructure. You've already seen what's happening at the port, where the berth is being constructed. Those kind of investment is what we are attracting, what we are trying to encourage, so that they can provide supportive and necessary infrastructure for ease of movement of goods and to do what they are good at.
Ndutamo Kami for Lunchtime News.
And now it's time to conduct a very short interview here. Of course, there are about 400,000 smart homes in the country, with that number expected to double in about 3 years or so, with households installing smart locks like this one. This is a smart padlock where you can open it using your thumb, like this, just the way you access your phone. And of course, they also install CCTV cameras, voice assistants, and connected alarms to enhance safety and security in your home. So how safe is your home? And to explain that, I have Robert Manyala, who is the director of Research Limited. Robert, explain to us how this works. How does this work, using thumb to open a padlock at my home?
Thank you so much.
How does it work?
Thank you so much. I'm Robert Manyala from Research Limited, where we make sure that you are secure. Yes. Now, this is a new technology that we have done currently. So what we have realized, in many homes, you must have maybe a padlock or some key that now people could easily use. They can make copies, and tomorrow things could happen. So with this kind of technology, it's a padlock that is embedded with your biometrics. You can now register all the family members. So when you are away, maybe you have a student or a child who has gone to school, they can just come, put the fingerprint, and it will open.
I bet that will be it will be destroyed by those robbers and criminals. Watakuja tu na machuma na wabomoe hiyo kitu.
Now, the technology that has been used here is the same material that I can say is being used to make this kind of instrument that are being used to carry money from one place to the other, the safe box. So it is not easy to destroy this because of the material that has been used.
What material has been used there?
There are various kind of material that they have used, and through that, it is not easy to destroy this. But the good news is that it can be used by anybody, anywhere. Currently, sometimes when you are in maybe a gated community, most of the time maybe you have to maybe ring a bell or call somebody. But with this, you can just put your fingerprint. You don't have to disturb people who already slept because you came late. You just use your fingerprint to open your door. If it is a business, you can use the same. Maybe you have several employees. Then there's a way we connect this to your phone so that you can be able to know who opened the door at what time, and you can look at it remotely. Maybe sometimes you're in a place where you have so many employees, but now the key cannot be given to everybody else. So you can register them using this.
How is it connected? Wi-Fi?
Yes, through Wi-Fi and an app.
That can be hacked?
That cannot be hacked. Yes.
It cannot be hacked?
Indeed, it has been tested. However, the more they try, the more also we try to make sure that it's much smarter. However, we continue to bring various types of this kind of padlock. Every now and then, we try to make sure that we are smarter on the same.
Is it to be charged? Does it use power?
Now, it uses power or battery, but you can charge it and it can go for even 1 week, 2 weeks before you charge it again.
What happens when the power is gone and it's still there at the door?
Now, there are things that we do. It gives warning, like 2 or 3 days before the power goes off, before it runs out of power. Just like a vehicle. Before fuel goes off, you have like maybe some indicators to show you that you are going to danger zone.
But what happens if I lock my door and I go away for about a week or two? What happens to the padlock?
No,
it opens.
No. What happens, because of the way it has been made, there are also some security code that you can use through the app, so that you can still log through the app in case that one happens to you. But how does it happen?
How do I log it via my phone?
Your phone. We install for you an app.
So can I also open it
through the app?
Through the phone, through my phone?
What happened? Yeah. We have what is called layers. Like in current technology, we say we have layer 1, layer 2, or maybe level 1, level 2. So in a scenario where, in whichever scenario, you are not able to open because maybe of the power or whichever, you can now use the phone. But there's some authentication that must take place for it to happen.
So it's possible that someone can visit my home and I'm not there, and maybe they're stranded, so I can open it
from wherever you are.
From wherever I am, and they're able to access my house.
And there must be security features that you must provide for it to happen, so that anybody else who has your phone cannot just do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. That's very interesting. But I know a hacker somewhere, a very good hacker. Maybe we're going to come in. How about these other issues? Okay, just tell us in the first instance, what is a smart home? Is my home where I live a smart home?
Thank you. Smart home first starts with the ability to change how we do things. For example, how you do your lighting, how you get to know who is at home from wherever you are. It's just basically deploying technology in various places within your home to ensure that everything is changed. For example, today, you can use biometric like this and just wave at it and the door will open. Do you know offices like where you put servers, computers, or places where we have finance managers, where money sits? Currently, they don't use padlock, most of them. They use access control, where you put your fingerprint or your face, then it can be able to open automatically. So even your home, you can do the same. We have people who stay in a gated community or whichever environment. So what happened currently, we even now have a technology at the gate. You can register the number plate, And based on that, it opens for you, because you have realized there are some watchmen that will open for you, even if in any case you are not a member. But when you automate this, like now the one for parking, the one for car park that we have in Nairobi, it works the same. And again, currently there's some technology where you can just use face recognition and it detects and the gates open. But other things that you need to know in smart home, we have been having challenges where people are saying when you're at work, maybe somebody is not somebody's mistreating your child. How do you get to know this? It's because of having smart home technology. Like now, spy camera, CCTV camera, that can be able to tell you what's happening from wherever you are. So because of this, there's something called preventive measures that happen because of this. When a nanny just knows that you have a camera within, there are things that, if any case they were to do, they will stop doing. If any case a thief knows that you have some of this technology, they will not be attempted to go into your place. Maybe they will go to your neighbor. So it's a one way of preventing. Like again, also now, we have places, I want to give an example, a smart example in Nairobi. Currently, there are so many places, like now in Karen, Upper Hill or whichever place, that before you get inside, a watchman must ask you, who are you going to see? Did you talk to them? Then you have to provide all your details at the gate, a book somewhere. Imagine you are being told, John has just passed here, Walter has just passed here. You know everybody. Now, because of that, we have now introduced Robbie Visitor. Now, this is a visitor management system to avoid exposing people's data at various gates building. Because rule in Kenya that you are supposed to capture the data of the people coming in. But how do you do it with the manual book? How do you expose the books that we have currently?
The data could be stolen.
Could be stolen anytime. Somebody can come to a watchman and give them some small money and they sell the book. And even, do you ask yourself, where are your data being exposed every time those books are over?
But it's going to render that a guard his or her job.
The guard is empowered to do it in the best way possible and make right decision, and can now advise the institution. I've seen Robert coming here 10 times. Can we get to know what is the challenge? But with this, they cannot know with a manual book. People provide wrong information at the gate, at the entrance, because you are not able to verify. But with visitor management system that looks like this, it is easier. They put their details and it will capture and it will be able to verify it is you. And you can get in and you can get out. And your data is stored safe somewhere, so that you don't expose your data. Some of the people telling you that today we have changed the rent payment details. Pay through this account. It's because sometime you came to my office or I came to your office and somebody came and did a screenshot of everything, started sending emails, SMSs or things like that. But with this now, it's the best way to comply with data privacy in Kenya and anywhere else.
What is this other machine? What is this other
machine?
Biometric. But the biometric, okay.
Yes. So,
but majority of these, technology, I think it's so much in offices and not homes. Have you installed this gadget in some homes?
So I want to give you an example what happens. There are places, like let me use high-level people in Kenya or in the world. For you to access their premises, you don't just deal with the watchman. Sometimes you can even have 3 gates. Gate 1, you have to put the card, you have to put maybe the fingerprint, or you have to wait for it to open. Gate 2, gate 3, until you reaches where they are. So that is why now they use this for access control most of the time.
Lastly, Manyala, tell us why this is important, because I think this is very expensive, especially for the Komoro Mwananchi living in maybe it's land or living in pipeline. This is very expensive.
Now, how expensive is a life of a human being if it was misused compared to the device? That is the big question today. When you have access control, the result, what you are going to prevent, the outcome is more beneficial than the money. However, what we have done, because what you have said, we allow people to get them in various modes of payment, maybe pole-pole, one-off. Sometimes also we sponsor as much as possible. Like for example, in schools, we have put this one in several schools because we realized parents were complaining, what time did my child come in? What time did they leave? So when they put this, it sent SMS alert that John amengia, John ametoka. The same to even the employment place. Sometimes, like now, Robbie such as branch in South Africa, Uganda, Kenya, and other places. So that's how we are able to know an employer has checked in South Africa, in Uganda, in Kenya, and any other place that we have real time.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you so much for your time. That is Robert Manyala, Director of Robbie Search Limited, explaining to us about smart homes. How safe is your home? Now, away from that, East African Breweries has reported 11.2 billion shillings during the 6-month period to December 2025, mainly driven by higher sales. The listed company says a profit jumped 38% due to income growth, operational efficiencies, and lower finance costs after the company reduced its debt by 2.2 billion shillings. Now, East African Breweries has proposed an interim dividend payout of 4 shillings per share.
Debt, I touched on this already, continued debt reduction. I think if you're here, maybe last year we were showing us coming from somewhere like 60 billion. We're now sitting at 37 billion, which is very comfortable. But even more compelling for me is that we've been able to get a better mix of fixed and floating, just because in our region, volatility of interest rate is real. So ensuring that your debt portfolio has a good mix of fixed and floating means that in the future you're able to protect the balance sheet and the P&L, particularly from volatile results.
We also have to keep investing, whether it's behind the brands or CapEx, but it has to be smart so that it delivers back to the shareholder or to the stakeholders. Productivity, our own language of cost efficiency. Again, keep watching every penny that we spend, that it is necessary, that is bottom-up driven, and that it makes sense for the business.
And our cooperative bank is leveraging technology to expand access to investment knowledge and promote inclusive economic growth. The lender has rolled out free online training programs to equip young people with practical skills on how to invest in the capital markets and long-term financial planning. Kingdom Securities Limited senior research analyst Stella Swake believes informed investment is key for wealth creation and financial resilience.
At the Nairobi Securities Exchange, you can even buy one share. This is a very good regulation that came in last year, and it was mainly for the retail investors, the young people who are coming into the employment market. I would want to demystify that myth that you should be rich or only the rich people invest in the stock market.
And that's where we end our lunchtime news on KBC Channel 1 for now. My name is Giverson Maina, and our sign language interpreter is Byron Abuli. Now, until next time, of course, tomorrow. See you again, and bye-bye for now.
Some of the challenges that come with autism that a parent is always able to pick. The first one is always around speech.
Our main focus is supporting our children or our students
to be able to achieve independence and the necessary skills that are required for them to be able to thrive in their life and in this environment.
Every child is a gift from God, and God had a purpose, and he is ready to give you the ability to be able to meet the need of that child. Speak about it, talk about it, do not fear. Come out to the limelight and you'll get help.
Differently able.
Wiki hii kwenye Mkulima tunaangazia ufugaji wa nzi wa BSF.
Tunajifunza mbinu nafuu ya uzalishaji wa chakula cha mfugo.
Hii ndio tunaita black soldier fly larvae.
Aha.
Huyu ndio mdudu ambaye ndio chakula ya kuku. Na naweza kueleza sio chakula tu wa kuku wa mifugo ama kitu kingine. Pia wanadamu pia.
Wow.
Ni chakula yetu. Hivi karibuni tutakuwa tunaitisha chapati BSF.
BSF.
Ama ugali BSF.
Wow, sio.
BSF bado inakuja kutackle climate change.
Ungana nasi Jumamosi saa 10:30 hapa KBC Channel 1.
Kwa mseto kamili wa kilimo.
Allahu Akbar, our creator, there's no one greater.
Unafahamu